Good morning, Hong Kong, and welcome back to another episode of Hong Kong Insurance 101. This week, we're going to be asking, what is a risk? To many people, risk may mean an uncertain situation. If we looked at the dictionary definition, we would discover that a risk can be defined as exposure to danger, harm, or loss. So, for the purposes of insurance, we could say risk is uncertainty concerning loss. Using this definition, in a risk situation, we are not sure what would be lost or even the extent of a loss. It is this vagueness concerning any given risk proposition which displays the utility of insurance. A great example of this can be found in the actual definition of insurance, which is the equitable exchange of risk from one party to another for a predetermined fee. Because risks exist, by paying another party, namely the insurance company, you are able to transfer the consequences of a loss to your insurance policy. However, it is important to realize that not all risks are equally created. If a risk is something that will result in a loss, then we will likely need to understand exactly what we are going to lose. Most losses occur within three distinct areas. Financial losses, which are losses that cause you to lose money or assets. A financial loss would be the theft of your computer or a flood in your office interrupting business operations. A physical loss. This would be a loss in respect of your physical person. Being maimed and losing an arm in a car accident or experiencing an untimely death would both be examples of physical loss. Emotional loss is the feelings of grief and or sorrow following a traumatic event. PTSDs and phobias following an accident would be examples of an emotional loss. For insurance, because only physical and financial losses are quantifiable, it is normally only these losses which can be insured. Attaching a monetary value to an emotional loss is extremely difficult. While some forms of insurance will allow for the treatment of emotional and psychological problems, emotional losses are not the primary risk for any insurance products. Now, obviously one of the most critical components to understanding the risk and equitably exchanging it will be determining what the financial outcomes of the risk are. Risks always fall into two categories, pure risks and speculative risks. The difference here is that pure risks only offer the possibility of loss. Speculative risks offer the potential of a gain or a loss. The difference would be akin to your house burning down versus playing a hand of blackjack in Macau. Your home being destroyed by a fire is a pure risk. You are not going to profit over losing your housing. Contrasting this, you can absolutely profit off your gambling activities in Macau, even though this activity is not totally advisable. Consequently, in Hong Kong, it is normally only pure risk which are able to be covered through insurance. But there's a second part here as well. Not only are we looking at the financial consequences of any given risk, we also need to understand the causes for that risk as an insurance company because we want to equitably offset it through a policy of coverage. So, we also need to classify the risk by determining its cause and effects. In this regard, there are two further categories, particular risks and fundamental risks. Particular risks impact a very small group of people or possibly only a single person. Fundamental risks are much wider in their effects and are outside the control of any one person or group of people. Having your wallet stolen under a home insurance plan would be an example of a particular risk. The loss only impacts you. However, a countrywide famine or global pandemic would be fundamental risks. The loss impacts society on a large scale and cannot be controlled by a single individual or even a group of people. As such, it is particular risks that are normally covered. And for more specificity, we can say that insurance on the whole deals with covering losses arising from pure particular risks. That's us for this week. As always, we hope you have a happy and healthy weekend. Remember to like and subscribe to stay current with all our content as it comes out. And don't forget to ask CCW. We're simplifying your insurance.